I'd like to greet everybody today with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be upon you. That's to my enemies as well as all of my friends, because the Bible that I read and believe that God tells us the sun shine on the just as well as the unjust. Say all of our sins is like filthy rags. I come to you today, October the 27th, 2015. Tuesday late evening, 7:29, or should I say night, p.m. Central Time, Charleston, Missouri time. I just like to come and tell everybody what happened in court today on this expose that was put against me by one of the people that I'm exposing that's misappropriating government funds, hiring drug dealers, drug addicts, alcoholics, to do work for the Suzanne Wesley Learning Center and exposing a lot of police officers that's crooked. But I went to court today and asked the judge to recuse himself, and he did. I also asked the same judge to dismiss the expose for the mere fact if he have to be recused because of the fact that he used to be the attorney for the gentleman that's going up against me for the people he worked for, which is the Suzanne Wesley Learning Center. If it's a conflict of interest for not taking the case, then it's a conflict of interest when it came to him October the 14th, 2015, by Les Gillespie to consider granting this temporarily until we went to court. It's a conflict of interest. He shouldn't have never let it get in his hands, but he refused to dismiss it, and he's going to give it to another judge in this same county, which I asked that I be moved to another county because there's no doubt or contradiction that I know I won't have a fair hearing. But before we went in, one of the black preachers here, well known, big church. Matter of fact, my grandmother left his church when his father passed away, because then none of them want to follow behind him. But I see why now. He walked past me and said, "How you doing, Raymond?" I just shook my head, and he walked in the crowd with the people that was going up against me. Now, there's one guy that said from the Suzanne Wesley Center, Les Gillespie, said that I'm a threat to his family, all of his co-workers at Suzanne Wesley Learning Center, and that I'm trying to incite a riot. But I know there's more blacks in Suzanne Wesley besides Lester, but the only ones from Suzanne Wesley was there today supporting him is all whites from Suzanne Wesley. Me and Lester was the only two blacks in the courtroom. But this particular preacher I was going to tell you about, he went in when they called our names. And it's a little silver matter. The only one can go in is somebody that has something to do with it. And the sheriff asked him, was his name on there? But another sheriff knew it wasn't on there, and they made him go out. So that showed me what he was there for. He never talked to me about this incident. He never talked to me when the bus driver did what he did to my 5-year-old daughter. He never talked to me with nothing that's been happening. So he tried to go in there. You see, one thing about God, God will allow you to put yourself in a trap. So I know you are one of my enemies because your people works in this same courthouse who voted that judge in. Your people work in this same detention center in Mississippi County. Your people is a part of Suzanne Wesley on their board and everything that they do here. But one thing, when I went in there, I was the only one besides the sheriff that I felt comfortable with. Didn't know everybody in there. But one thing about it, how I felt in there, I felt like I was in a Ku Klux Klan meeting. Not saying everybody in there. Now, I'm just saying I felt like I was in a Ku Klux Klan meeting. And they allowed blacks to become Ku Klux Klan. And Lester Gillespie was the first black. But one thing about it, I didn't go in there with no lawyer that went to a law school. I went in there with Jesus Christ. I asked all of my supporters to continue to support me. And I ask you all to keep an eye on what's going on down there, because I know they plotting. And I know that preacher, he know he can't come greet me and tell me he loved me and my kids. He the same one that tried to get the bishops in this jurisdiction who had a stroke. He tried to get his position. When he seen he couldn't get that, he went to Ohio jurisdiction. Everybody in this town know who I'm talking about. My grandmother left when his father passed away. All of her and her members left. But I want y'all to just keep me in your prayers. I'm going to fight this to the end. It ain't nothing but an expose, but it should have never been granted. I have a right to video, and this man saying I don't. All of y'all from Cabrini Green, peace be still. All of y'all that's in Southeast Missouri, that's not a fake, a fraud, or a pretender, peace be still. My enemies, peace be still. God got something for you. Peace out.